And welcome back to day 15, 16, something like that, of working on this app called Compass Calendar. Here it is. I'm not even gonna pitch it. I don't want to do the whole pitch today. I don't feel like it. It's a slow Saturday. Well, I'll say it's a quiet Saturday where I'm at now, at least. And so I'm trying to just keep that chill vibe. So if you don't know, if you weren't here yesterday, we were working on onboarding to give more awareness to this new thing we shipped called the Day Planner, which lets you see your events right next to your tasks. This is a new thing for people, and they don't really know about it, and we weren't explaining it very well, so we updated the onboarding to give them an interactive way to start creating events, and then at the end of the onboarding, they're redirected to this page. So this will be the first thing that they see when they sign into the app. I don't know if that's adequate and that's the right move long term, but I do know that previously when we were sending them here, what people would do is they wouldn't even really have any events here. And so they just look at this and be like, meh, and then leave. They won't have many tasks here. And so they're like, do I want to invest in putting a lot of my tasks in here? No, I don't. So I'm hoping that by showing them this as the first thing and warming them up to that idea during onboarding, they'll position this app differently in their mind, where they don't think this is just like Google Calendar. They'll think, oh, this can help me plan my focus and my time and get more done in a simple way. Now, after that was shipped yesterday, I started working on the extension of this feature. So to bring you down to where I'm at, this is all about planning and managing your time better. And one of the tenets of that is to continually plan and adjust the plan, but also not go too crazy with the planning that you don't actually do anything. Okay, so here on the left, we let you plan the month. That's a pretty big picture. So just what do you need to do this month? The week, pretty big picture too. Then of course you got the week where you already have your events that you know need to happen at this specific time. So you got like 3 types of things you can throw down here. This is like a good place to set your week up at the beginning or end of a week. Come here. However, that's not enough. That's not enough to get people to use this daily. And if they're not going to use it daily, they're not going to pay for it. So I thought, how can we make this more useful for you, like on a daily or hourly basis for people who are on their computer? So that led us to drill down a little bit from the week to the day. So this is, you take your stuff that you wanted to do and your events, and then you add some tasks here. This is your day, right? So we just added that. Then yesterday I started extending it more to do this, which is as simple as it gets. So these are tasks from the day, the ASDF 1, 2, 3, and it just shows that right now. I have a prototype of this, a static prototype over here. This will show you a better, kind of more full picture of this feature. But it's like, okay, here, say you got, 6 or so tasks left to do today. You're like, okay, time to lock in. You've done your planning, you've done your setup. You're like, okay, big picture, here's what I got to do. And now it's time to just be present and focus and turn off all the noise. Then you come here. Then you're like, okay, which of these 5 do I want to do to start? I'm going to say review quarterly goals. And that's it. So you're going to work on this. This is going to remind you that you're just reviewing your quarterly goals. And then up here, you got a little thing that's saying, hey, I got a team meeting in 20 minutes, 24 minutes, so I'm going to be aware of that. But that means I got 24, 23 minutes to just review quarterly goals. This is it. This is the only thing that matters. Okay. Then so you do that, then you move on to the next thing. Simple as it gets, man. It's like a simple feature, but powerful. I love the simple yet powerful features that aren't too busy. They actually help people. You don't have to be a competitive coder or a genius or some kind of mathlete to make this type of thing. You can just be a normal person and vibe code it in a few hours, and that's awesome because it's still actually helpful, and that's what I care about. I want to help people channel the focus and the time and the energy they got so that they can get more done and get what they want out of their lives better. And up to this point, this app hasn't done that yet, but we're getting close. We're getting close to like a full end-to-end helpful workflow. So anyway, big picture. This is a 60-day challenge. The first 7 or so, as you can see here, was about top of funnel stuff like onboarding, landing page. I made a little app to bring more traffic. Then what I've been working on is middle of the funnel, and top of funnel, I just mean the problem to solve is people know about the app. Middle of the funnel, the problem to solve is people got to use the app. And then once we get those things solid enough where people are finding out about it and organically using it and consistently using it, then the last part is getting some of those people to convert. So I'm time blocking what I'm doing right now so that I send an email out on Monday. It's been a little over 2 weeks since my last email, and it's time to tell people, hey, in the last email I said, hey, this is a thing. You can try it out. You have to opt into the beta program. In this email, I'm going to say, we cleaned things up a bit on here. You don't have to opt in anymore. It's like the first thing you'll see. And also, we have the beginning workings of this, the now planner, the hourly planner. So I got 3 kind of good news for them. And also, we fixed a really killer bug. At least I think we did. What the bug was is that every single day, the first thing that happened when you went to this app is that you would be forced to relog in. And that kills the middle of the funnel. That kills the engagement, and that's going to kill the bottom of funnel, the conversion. In other words, no one's going to keep using an app that they have to sign in to every single day. No one's going to pay for an app that they have to keep signing into every single day. And I hated that this came up, and I hated that it was so complicated to fix. But I think we're coming out of the weeds now. I don't need to go too far into the rabbit hole, but basically we rely on a third party currently to make sure users are who they say they are, and that I'll just leave it at that. That's our session management feature, and that's super tokens. And something changed. I don't even know what it was, but we went with support for them. We talking with them for literally weeks. We're really trying to talk to them for weeks and not hearing back. And we're like, do we just keep waiting on this? Do we bite the bullet? Do we wait and see or chip away? Do we try a little proof of concepts? We looked at other options, tried to estimate how long it would take to migrate over there. And I don't want to take credit for this, but Victor last night pushed a PR that basically took their SDK, which we were using. It was a React SDK built upon their web primitives. I'm trying to not get too wordy. Basically, they give you the building blocks, and they also give you a product that's built upon those building blocks where it's kind of out of the box, and it's like, hey, this just works. And normally you shouldn't have to do anything. It just works, and that's fine. But that's the part which broke. They're like packaged solution for just getting this stuff working, and we couldn't figure out why. So here we took out that middle layer and we just went to the Lego blocks. We just went to the core JavaScript library, and we implemented our own session management workflow on top of it, and like created our own little package, our own little solution, so that it fixes the bug. It makes it easier to migrate away from these guys in the future, which I do plan to do, considering how not good their support and documentation was, and the communication was all just left a very bad taste in my mouth. But this at least gets us up and running. There's a little bug that went in quickly afterwards, so I'm a little hesitant because it's only been not even a day, but so far it's working well. And I saw the session refresh work, where if you go to the page, you're not forced to re-log in again. It's just one of those things that's like, you shouldn't have to think about it as a user. As a developer who's not doing something in the authentication space, you shouldn't even spend a lot of time on it. Like, we should be spending our time thinking about tasks and events and timers and completing things and projects and communications and like just calendar productivity app stuff. And when this stuff comes up, it can be real killer. But I think we're coming out the other side of it, thankfully. But all that led to me picking this up, trying to get this across the finish line by Monday. And that's important because I don't want to waste people's times with email. I think an email notification is one of the most intimate touch points you can have with someone. That's like, an app developer to a user, because a lot of people see it within seconds. There's no intermediary really, like monitoring content. It's not necessarily batched, and the other thing is just like raw communication. I want to make sure when I'm doing that, I'm not phoning that in. I'm not just sending emails to send an email. I want the email to hit, and I want it to provide value. So why we're pushing so hard is I want to send this email out on Monday. I want it to say, we fixed the bug, we improved the day planner that I mentioned last time, and we have the now planner available now in a basic setup. So those are three strong things that I do think warrants people's time and is useful. And I want to get that out there so that those people who already have an account and kind of understand what we're going for here can validate that what we're building is helpful, can give us feedback on the middle of the funnel, can come up with ideas about how to make it better. So that's a long-winded setup for why we're doing what we're doing in this order and what I'm hoping to get out of it. I can actually check a couple of these off. I'm going to check this one off. So this was from our beginning planning when we were like, here's what absolutely has to happen for us to ever make some money with this app. And we said, we got to get conversions better. And we said, we got to take that feature out of beta. And so I'm working on this one now. I'm trying to get as far as I can until Monday on this. I'm even gonna say onboarding's done. I think we'll have to do more, but I don't know what exactly is tripping people up, whether it's the language or maybe it's not interactive enough, or maybe we're doing it in a different way. It depends. So once after the email gets out and people use it, I think I'll do a follow-up here, but I don't know what it is yet that we have to do. And this is what I was just talking about. We can mark this one done. For now. There might be follow-up bugs, but it's looking good for now. Oops. And so this is the bottom of funnel. So, wow, yeah, we've done a lot in 2 weeks actually. I'm kind of proud of this. Day to day, this is the log, and it's like, well, yeah, I did this and that, and it's like, what actually happened all this time? But when you look at it like this, and I look at the PRs that are going in, we're doing steady progress. We're doing steady progress. This will be done by Monday, the MVP. Okay, let's slowly narrow down to checking out the code. This is all set up. So I merged this a few hours ago. Pretty sloppy, not gonna lie. This is a minimal implementation. It's just about reading from storage. There's a lot of vibe coding. There's a lot of conversations about it. I took some code from this PR that Victor set up before. I tried to not get too picky because this is already 22 files just to get this in there. And instead of squishing in a refactor and other improvements, I decided we're going to break this out. I'm a big believer in having one PR do one thing, or one issue do one thing, one commit do one thing. So that first issue is about just getting the functionality out there. I don't care if there's re-renders. I don't care if it's not performant. I don't care if there might be race conditions or bugs, because I'm going to very quickly do a follow-up PR to fix those things, but I'm going to do them separately. So you're like, okay, this PR improves the styling. This PR moves some component around, and this is the big one I'm on now that might be broken out further. But it's like, this is one that cleans up how shortcuts are being used. This is one where it's just focused on storage and performance. It's the kind of thing that you don't have to do. Maybe if you're solo, you can get away with it. Maybe if you're not open source, no one will care. But even still, I think it's worth it to go a little slower, do one thing at a time, and over a longer period of time, you'll have less headaches. The code will be cleaner. It'll be less mixed up and spaghetti-like, and your life will just be a little easier. You don't get that dopamine hit of just going furiously fast, but you get a slower, more steady, less intense dopamine hit, if you know what I mean. There's just something that feels amazing when you're just in the zone. The playlist is going. There's no blockers. There's no failing tests, because there's probably not any test you have to maintain. And it's just all forward progress. But that can only last for so long. The hotter the flame, the shorter the burn, right? So if you keep the flame a little less hot and you keep it going for longer, I think you as an engine, as a system, will be better off. So that's what we did yesterday, why we're doing what we're doing today. And I have a PR partially started right now, and I'm going to keep going. So we're going to see some code now. It'll probably be a little more quiet. But we got about half an hour. I think I'm going to focus on updating the shortcuts and how they're defined and used and shared so that there's less duplicate code and it's easier to read. So with all that, let's finally pull up some code. Already this is cleanup, and you see all these files are related just to shortcuts in some way. So I'm going to probably get this in a good spot, make a commit, and then make some more commits after that. So here I'm separating shortcuts by which page you're viewing. There are global shortcuts, just a few to help you navigate. So that's what these are here. And then there's shortcuts that are specific to the page. So like the J shortcut on the day planner might do a different thing than the J shortcut on a week planner, right? Because J is for navigating backwards. If you're on a day planner, you want to navigate backwards one day. If you're on the week, you want to navigate backwards one week. Okay, so this is just defining it, setting it up, and trying to share some code. Right now, there's separate hooks for shortcuts, and you just have to import them and run them. And I'm considering creating a provider. It'd be nice to just wrap the view around the shortcut so that you know, hey, if you're going to this page, you can use any of these shortcuts anywhere, and you don't have to have a separate hook. Especially if the hook doesn't like return anything, or it doesn't change based on an input. So like when I'm on this page, I want enter to just always complete the task you're viewing. That's not going to change based on other things. So that's why I like having the wrapper pattern a little better, because it's just like you don't have to think about it. As long as it's wrapped, then the enter will do what it does, and you don't have to get that mixed up with the actual presentation, the title here, the icons. It's a little more separate in your mind, and I like that. So I'm leaning towards that, but I'm just going to make sure this is all passing and that we get these 17 files checked in before going too long on a big commit. I'm tempted to create a test utility for this, but I'll do that in a separate commit when it comes up. Okay, I think it's working. I just need to update the type, so that's happy. Yeah, there we go. So I saved some code. I use this in other test files too, so probably just gonna leave it for now if it's all working. But it's set up. There's probably a way where you can do a more smart render where you're like, I don't know. This is just very built into this memory router, but that's fine. Cleans this up a bit. Hey, we got a chat from Kushal Solves, and he says, "Sir," that makes me feel old. He says, "Sir, what type of compass calendar are you making?" I'll show you. Yeah, I'll go to the land page now. It's like it's called calendar, but it's more like a daily planner, and part of it has a weekly calendar built into it here. But it's basically tasks and events. You can drag the task, complete the tasks, schedule events, and it drills down to planning your current focus right now, which is what you're seeing working on, planning your day, and then planning your week. This is the calendar part. Honestly, looking back, I would have named this something differently because everyone's like, oh, it's just a calendar. What's the whole point? It's more of a planner. I think Compass Planner is taken, actually. So I don't know if it's not a priority is renaming it, but maybe that answers it. Let me check real quick check, see if this is still taken. Yeah, these guys. I wonder what their tool looks like. Yeah, I went here before. I'm like, what does this even do? Is it an app? Okay, monthly goals, yearly calendars, personal. It's like everything, it seems like. Oh, here we go. Okay, so they got goals, calendar, contacts. It's like an everything app. Curious it's been around for 6 years. What's their pricing? That's like the first thing I always look at is pricing. $10 monthly. Look at that. Maybe I should reach out to him one day. Not today though. We're making the code a little better before Monday, so we can ship something that's not going to break right away. So that was that commit worthy? Yeah, we fixed a test. Okay, so Krishal says, whoa, so it's like it is a productivity app. It seems very feature rich and I really like the interface. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's definitely rich enough in terms of features where I'm really trying to not add too much more. I'm trying to not indulge in that temptation to just hide behind my IDE all the time. And I'm trying to get in front of people, but like we were just seeing with the compassplanner.com, if it's everything, then it's hard to explain why someone should take time out of their day to even give it a shot. So I think what I'm going to have to figure out is how to make this pitch like really enticing to the right person. For example, a lot of people who I've talked to who kind of are more drawn to this are people with ADD or people with ADHD, because they know that they need some kind of a system to channel their focus. Otherwise, they'll go all over the place. But they also know they don't want too much. Like they're overwhelmed by something like Notion, for example, which lets you do anything. So this is super generic, and I think I am going to have to narrow down targeting it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the app features have to change much. Maybe the wording. but I'm going on. It's basically, it has enough features. So at least that's what I think. I think what we're going to do in the future is refining and getting the workflow a little smoother, but I don't think we need to add a ton more to make it actually useful for people. So I should have, here's my draft. Okay, so already, I'm going to call this a refactor. Already that's 16 files just to clean up the shortcut stuff. And there's a lot more to clean up, but we got, man, this Copilot is such a buzzkill sometimes because it's like, I want to push it up. I want to make sure the tests pass. But I also want to keep coding, and if I keep going back and forth to Copilot, making sure I'm always doing what it says, I kind of get out of the flow. And then if I don't do that, a lot of the stuff is outdated, and then I just have to keep resolving it. So I don't know. Sometimes I wish I would change it so it's only reviewing the code after I mark it as ready for review. Right now it's on every push, as you're seeing here. Circular dependency. I don't know if that's even true. I think we're good for now, but let's check out the issue. What else we're gonna change? So we're gonna do unified typing, and yes, update this component, the shortcut overlay, which is, this is the overlay. I do want to change it, but right now I'm just focused on like having a way for this view and this view to use the same component. Right now I think they're separate, or it's too coupled to this page, to this view. So get on the shared implementation, and then in the future, in another week, I'll change how this looks and feels a little bit more. So let's start shifting our focus over there. I don't like the use memo here. I don't think you need to do this, because it's saying the memo should only change if these change, but these aren't going to change after the first render. So I see an opportunity to simplify. I think I can. I already have tests that'll break if I did break something. So these are passing now. Oh, it looks like we have some duplicate code even. We have use now shortcuts and we have use now view shortcuts. All right, so let's clean one of those up. I don't think we need both. Do they both have memo? No memo on this one, except for navigate dependency, but that's probably fine. Just go side by side here. That's the use now view. Here's the use now view. See what I mean? Like, I was just cruising for the first PR and some of this sloppiness got through. This one has props. This one has better typing. because it's saying we're only using these shortcuts here. I don't like this normalized key stuff. All right, so there's some things I don't like in both of them. Let's see which one's actually in use. Okay, they both are, which is kind of tricky, just in different spots. This is why I like the provider pattern. I might add that here. So I'm thinking game plan would be pick one of these, get it working, port some things over from the other that I like, remove some other things I don't like. So we got one hook, delete the other hook in the file, get it working, then convert that into a provider. Talking all out here. Let me just set that up too, so I don't forget. All right, that's just for me. Saw some chats come in. So Kushal says, how do you plan to make the app profitable when it's open source as well? Can't people just use it? He says, sir, again, I forgive you. Yeah, good question. A lot of people aren't developers, and I'm happy if the developers just want to use it. I'm not concerned about the lack of customers we're going to lose, or the customers we're going to lose who are open source developers and do want to set it up, because there's so few of them. Like 49 people have forked this, which means they've even attempted to try to get this running on their own. And to really do it now, it's kind of tricky because you have to set up a Google Cloud project, like your own Google project, and even that's kind of a pain. So there's enough friction where you would only do that and really run it yourself if you were super motivated. I think some other app teams could fork this and just start way ahead, and I bet they will do that eventually, but I don't think that's going to jeopardize our ability to generate money. And I think a good example, modern example of this is Excalidraw. Excalidraw is all open source, but they also have a hosted plan. They have enough features where it is tricky enough. And for example, for me, I'm using it right now and I'm on the premium plan. I don't want to go into the source code. I don't want to worry about it. So it hasn't detracted me from just paying for it like a normal user. I also like that it opens up some possibilities for like just traditional support. Like an extreme example would be Red Hat. Red Hat is like a wrapper around a Linux operating system, and they add support for it. They don't, the IP of the Linux kernel is out there, but they just make it so easy to actually use it, and a lot of enterprises will just pay them for that knowledge and that support. Now, I don't think companies will just start to move over to Compass, but I could see if they do start to do that and we offer some kinds of services to just help them use our core IP easier. Like if they want to go multi-cloud, we could have a quick like bootstrapping app to help them do that. If they want to have more security lockdowns, like if they're running an app that needs like SOC 2 compliance, we can do some plugins or add-ons to do that. So this is far in the future, but I see still, even if you are open source, that can be a benefit, especially if you're not trying to sell the product or the company outright, which I don't plan to do. Instead, I want to use open source as like a good marketing channel, but you can still layer on a lot of things on top of it. A lot of speculation with that, but that's how I view it. We'll see. I mean, we'll definitely see within the next 30, 45 days whether it's true you can even generate revenue, or whether open source will somehow inhibit our ability to generate revenue. So stick around. We'll see. I don't have to speculate for long. It's just in 45 days at the max, I will know for sure whether I can't charge because this is open source or not. But I'm optimistic. All right, so I'm going to try to just let it rip and see if it comes up with a good consolidation here. And if not, I'm just going to do it myself and think it through. Time-wise, we got 7 minutes left, so I'm not going to finish this PR in time, but we'll see if we get maybe one more commit down here. I think it knows what I'm going for here, so I'm just going to send it. I think this focused task might be like a relic of some old code. Because I don't think the shortcuts, like we were talking about before, should change based on what's here. Should it? Or maybe it should. If this is here and I hit enter, this should mark this task as complete. Whereas if this is here and I hit enter, that should, okay, so maybe it does. Maybe it does matter, unless we're storing the focus task in some other storage that's not in memory. But as far as we are now, we're just passing it along as a prop, I think. Let's check. Oh, actually, there is, I think this is old, actually, this focus task ID. Let's start from scratch here. So that just deleted all my tasks because they're in the browser. So I might add a couple. Events are still there. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we're not tracking the ID here. So I think we do need to include it in props. So I think they're right. Long story short. All right, so it picked one and let's see what else it did. It added the props, it merged the logic, it changed imports, and it updated the tests, and it deleted that. Okay, if that's all true, that'd be great. Yarn test web. I'm trying to heart your message, Kushal, but I can't do it. I'll give a thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's the old school like. Thank you. All right, test still pass. Don't like the memo, but I can do that later. Let's make sure it actually works still. So I'm going to do one, or I'm going to do two. I'm going to do one. I'm going to do J, which goes backwards, K forward. I don't think enter does anything yet. So it seems to work. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a dub. All right, I'm going to do another one to clean up the memo if I can. And just keep chipping away, man. This is all I got to do today is just chipping away. It's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow too. And then writing the email to all the people. And then on Monday, we're going to send it off. So yeah, brick by brick, day by day, just moving forward. Steady progress. That's the name of the game. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you guys tomorrow.